Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So I wanted to create a look that's suitable for a wedding. So not for the bride, but for the wedding guests. Obviously you're going to want to look glam, but you don't want to outdo the bride. So I kind of stuck with soft neutral tones. So I guess if you want to see how I created this look, then just keep watching. So first up, I'm going to be priming my skin using the Makeup Forever Step 1 Skin Equalizer, and this is the smoothing primer. Moving on to foundation, today I am going to be using the Makeup Forever Ultra HD foundation, and I'm in the shade Y335. Then I'm going to move on to my brows, and for that I'm going to be using the Delilah Brow Line Retractable Eyebrow Pencil in the shade Sable. And then once I'm kind of almost done with the brow, I'll just go in and just blend out the product, or just smooth out the product by combing through the brows, and it will just soften the look of the brow to make it look a lot more natural. Because I like to be extra, I'm going to go in with the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow Pomade, and I'm in the shade Dark Brown with an angled brush, and I'm going to take this on the outer half of my brow just to really kind of define that tail of the brow. Then I'm going to go in with the Anastasia Beverly Hills Tinted Brow Gel in the shade Espresso, and just set my brows in place. Right, moving on to the eyes, I'm going to start off with priming my lids with the Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion, the anti-aging version. All over lid shade, I'm going to go in to my Kat Von D Shade and Light Contour palette. I'm going to go in with the shade Lyric, which is this middle yellow shade. Then I'm going to go into the Jaclyn Hill Favourites palette by Morphe Brushes, and I'm going to go in with this shade here. I'll write all the shade names in the description box below. Then to further deepen up the crease, I'm going to take a darker shade. So just take this one over here, which is probably a shade darker than the one over here. I'm going to take that into the crease again, but I'm mainly focusing that on the outer part of the crease. So not taking it all the way in. So going in, back in with the same brush that I applied the first shade, I'm going to blend out that second darker shade, just so there's no kind of harsh edges and that it kind of looks quite blended between the two shades. I'm also going to take that shade on the outer part of the eyelid as well. And then just to make sure everything is very smooth, seamless, go in with a clean blending brush, and this one's the Morphe E37. Now I'm going to go into the L'Oreal Infallible eyeshadow in the shade 892 Amber Rush. And then I'm just going to apply that to the mobile part of the lid, staying under the crease. Such a pretty colour. Okay, so I want to add a little bit more depth to the eyes, so I'm going to go in with a darker shade. I'm going to use this shade right down here, which is a kind of quite a warm, rich brown shade. And I'm going to apply that to the outer part of the lower lid. Then I'm just going to go in with the brush that I used the transition shade on, and I'm just going to smooth over that top edge of that the metallic colours that we've just put on the lid. just so there's just not a harsh line. I want to further deepen the eye, so I'm going to go in with an even darker colour in the crease. So I'm going to take a bit more of a tapered brush. So I'm going to use the Morphe E17 brush, and let's see, I'm going to take probably this dark brown shade just on the outer part of the eye, just a little bit, and I'm also just joining that up on the outer half. And then I'm going to take the brush that I used to apply the crease shade, and I'm just going to blend out that dark shade. Then I'm going back in with a clean blending brush to ensure that there are no harsh edges. I'm going to do a bit of a small like kitten flick, if you like. And for that I'm using the L'Oreal Perfect Liner Super Slim. I'm going to go in with my Uemura eyelash curlers and just give my lashes just a little bit of a curl. Okay, before I put on my false lashes, I'm going to tightline my waterline, and I'm using my Horus Smokey Godess eyeliner. I'm going to go in with one coat of mascara, and I'm using the L'Oreal False Lash Architect 4 Dimensions Effect Fibres Waterproof Mascara. That is a mouthful. I'm going to go onto my false lashes, and the one I'm using is one that I've used before, and it's non-branded. I actually picked this up from a Hong Kong supplier on eBay, and they are pretty much the same as the Velour Wispy Me Away lashes. For my under eye concealer, I'm going to be using the LA Girl Pro Conceal, and this is in the shade Creamy Beige. And I'm just going to apply that straight onto the under eye area. And I'm going to team that with the MAC Prep and Prime highlighter in the shade Light Boost, as always. And this is just kind of for highlighting and really brightening up that under eye area. Then I'm going to go in with my favourite under eye brush for blending out concealer, and it is the Morphe G2. I absolutely love this brush. I think it's so much better than the Sigma F86. Then I'm going to set the under eye area using the Laura Mercier Secret Brightening Powder, and with the M438 from Morphe, just go in with a little bit of that product, and as you can see, it's quite long, but it's quite flexible and bendy, and it's a perfect shape to get right into the inner corners as well. And I just find, I don't know, it just feels so much better than the Real Technique setting brush, which I've used for ages to set my under eye concealer. Okay, so I'm going to go in with the first shade we use as our transition shade, and I'm going to run that the whole way along my bottom lash line. Then I'm going to take the darker brown and apply that to the outer half. I think I actually want a bit of that rose gold on the bottom lash line, so I'm going to go in with the same brush that I used to apply it, but just taking the tip of the brush instead. Because I want to further define my bottom lash line, mainly just on the outside half, I'm going to go in with Charlotte Tilbury Rock and Coal Iconic Liquid Eye Pencil in the shade Barbara Brown. Just take a little bit of that on a really small brush, and this is the M326 from Morphe. Then of course going in with mascara. Then I'm going to go in and highlight my brow bone, and I'm going to use this shade right at the top. And I'm also going to use that shade to highlight my inner corners. Then I'm going to just move on and conceal and highlight the rest of the face. I'm using the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer in the shade 10. And this is just to kind of go over any kind of redness that I have or any kind of blemishes. And I tend to have a lot of redness around my nose. My damp beauty blender just to blend that all out. I'm going to also highlight the centre of my forehead using the Smashbox Step by Step contour stick, and this is in the highlight shade. And I'm going to go in and contour my nose to make it appear a little bit slimmer than it is. I'm going to take the Smashbox Step by Step contour stick, and this is the contour shade, and a Zoeva 223 Petite Eye Blender. Take a little bit on the tip of the brush and just kind of take that really lightly down the length of my nose. I'm going to go in with a larger brush, and the one I like to use is the Zoeva 142 Concealer Buffer Brush, and I'm going to just start blending that in. I'm going to go in with the highlight shade and just take that on the length of my nose like that. To set that nose contour in place, I'm going to go in with the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette, and I'm going to use the Subconscious shade, which is this one on the right. I like to go in with a bigger fluffy brush. This one's Morphe E2 brush. Swirl it in that shade. I'm going to take that same Subconscious shade from the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette and start building in those cheekbones. Then you can take any excess product along your jawline. And for bronzer, I'm going to be using the Ambient Lighting Bronzer in Radiant Bronze Light. Moving on to the highlight, I'm going to be going in with Becca's Shimmering Skin Perfector Pressed in Champagne Pop, the collaboration with Jaclyn Hill. Look how intense that is. I decided to skip blusher as I wanted the focus to be on the bronzed golden skin. My new lip obsession is lining my lips with Maxor lip pencil, going in with Gerard Cosmetics lipstick in the shade Buttercup, another collaboration with Jaclyn Hill. Can you tell I'm obsessed? And then topping that off with the Gerard Cosmetics lip gloss in Shimmer of Hope. Then I'm going to set that all in place with my Urban Decay Chill Makeup Setting Spray. And this is the completed look. I hope you guys enjoyed watching me create this really feminine, romantic and super glamorous wedding guest makeup. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so already. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye!